What happens when you give a bunch of billionaire old guys access to a bunch of military equipment? Bad stuff. This week on Kentucky Fried Chronology.
My God.
I might clip that for the. I might clip that for no, and then it just drops into the fucking like drop D. If we knew musicians, man, we could do that.
We had a budget.
Right.
This is clearly our ideas outweigh our budget half the time. Anyway,
I'm Beau,
and I'm Chuck.
Welcome to the next newest. Most pertinent episode of Kentucky Fried Chronology.
Episode 4, I believe.
Episode 4, that's right.
Episode 4. This week's topic, as chosen at random by the pot of knowing, the East India Company.
Yeah, don't fist pound the table. Are you mad about it?
I
still haven't forgiven the British for this, have you?
No. Well, no.
But to be fair, it wasn't really the British. It was just a bunch of British guys.
No, I'm used to wooden furniture, and I forgot this was a plastic table.
Yeah, don't beat up our plastic table.
I swear, my parents built a hobbit home. It's sturdy as fuck. Anyway, our dwarf.
That's all right.
Yeah, Dad was a dwarf. Oh, anyway, tonight's episode is Chi-Chi's. Really?
Yeah, Chi-Chi's Long Island iced tea, because, East India Company.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I figured, I forgot we were drinking these tonight, so... This is actually the first time I've tried Long Island iced tea.
Not bad. I taste the grape.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's got a grape wine. It's just grape
That's what it says on the bottle. It says grape wine with natural flavors.
And the alcohol comes through at the end, but
I don't get what makes it tea, though. See, when I was a kid, we would mix.
I thought a Long Island iced tea was just iced tea with a bit of vodka in it.
No, it's like 4 different liquors all magically mixed together, and it magically tastes like fucking tea somehow.
Oh.
But what you're talking about is what we did in high school. Like, we'd take
screwdrivers,
like fucking iced tea, and throw some gin in it or something. One of those nice clear liquid or liquors just to give it some kick.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm not actually.
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
kind of want it over ice though.
Yeah, it does need to be cooler.
I think we found something Chuck will drink finally. Wow, that didn't take near as long as I thought it would. I thought we'd be on like episode 50. Still vainly searching for the drink Chuck will drink.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It'll do the job.
Anyway,
so the beginning, because this is one of those things. As a business venture, if you're looking at it strictly from a businessman's point of view, the East India Trading Company, even though you're technically a monopoly, your competition's stiff. It's a flooded market, and the locals are already on to the game that the other two are playing. So if you go in, going in right now it's a bad idea. But I mean,
the British were like super late, or the English, not the British. The Union hasn't happened yet.
It does.
They were super late to the spice trade game, though. Up until the Spanish Armada, it was ran by the Portuguese and the Spanish and all their shit going on.
And by the time they get there, the Dutch had already been there for nearly a century, and were doing a very good job. They weren't doing great in India specifically.
Well, they hadn't even really started yet. They went immediately to Indonesia and shit.
Indonesia was where the Spice Islands were, so that's where most of their operations set up. So as soon as English traders, I'll get to your route.
EIC, or the company. Just call them the EIC or the company.
As soon as the company, I'm probably just going to go with the company the rest of the episode. As soon as the company tried to push into Indonesia, the Dutch very, very swiftly and very harshly put a stop to that. One naval battle.
Hold on. I have notes.
I don't remember exactly what this happened, but the Dutch just handed them their ass on a spice-covered platter and sent them crawling back to... it was not Goa, because that was part of the Dutch.
Oh, yeah. I wrote this down.
Port. They sent them back to whatever port that they had over in India.
They fuck around with the Dutch. The company starts in 1600, and then they fuck around and finally give up on the Indonesia in 1623 after the, I'm going to butcher this, Emboina massacre.
I'm not familiar with that one. That's not the
Emboina massacre, 1623. Since they were defeated by the Portuguese, then they withdrew all of their shit from Indonesia and moved all their business over to India.
And that brings me to a point.
Not that they weren't already fucking around in India, just they were like, we're done. Just whatever's left over in Indonesia, we're going to move over here.
And we're just going to consolidate and focus on India for a while. Smart move. But here's the crazy thing about all this. We're both doing independent research on this topic. And sometimes we'll sit there and have a study session, do stuff. But most of the time we're doing this on our own.
Yeah, but we learned study sessions, you and me, turns into like high school science project where nobody's doing any actual work. Then we end up playing video games and shit.
Yeah, sometimes. But but back to what I'm saying, a lot of the time, on the first 3 episodes especially, we were often coming to the same sources for basically the same, and coming up with basically the same information from the same reputable sources. Because the company has so much history and so many records of what it done, we're both coming into a lot of independent sources on this particular topic, aren't we?
All right. Well, do you want me to like broad stroke the very beginning?
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Give me what you know of the broad strokes of the beginning, and then I'll fill in the gaps with what I do now.
Okay, broad strokes. Super early. The Spanish Armada happens. Spain loses. England wins. This kind of destroys Spain's naval power in the region, and this frees up England to send out all their exploration fleets. You know, the fucking Francis Drake, Walter Raleigh, all those fucking guys.
Yeah, so they could start ruling the waves.
Yeah, so they can go out and start finding stuff. Well, they come back from the East Indies with all this shit, and they're like, sweet, let's get in on this. So they form the Governors and Councils East India Merchants Company. Is a big mouthful of a fucking name. And then they shortened it to the East India Company. And Queen Elizabeth in 1600 gives them a charter granting them the monopoly over all of that hemisphere of the world, even the Indies. Why it's East India Company, and then turns into India Company. But like we said, when they go over there to Indonesia and Philippines and all that, the Dutch kind of beat their ass. But I feel like most of that problem wasn't exactly their fault. They picked the wrong guy. Did you read any about this guy? Okay, the guy who they send on the first like big.
What's his name? What guy?
Is James Lancaster? I wrote it down. Hold on. Let me make sure I said.
That's a familiar name in English history.
Yeah, James Lancaster. They sent this guy who he was a pirate or privateer, whatever the fuck you want to call him. But he wasn't a very good one.
Okay.
No, like he got his like whole crew marooned on an island, and they were eaten by cannibals, and like he barely escaped with like his first officer and shit. And this is the dickhead they picked for their first big expedition over there. No wonder they fucked it up. This guy didn't know what he was doing. But it does explain why his first action when he gets over there is they're like, oh, look, a big Dutch ship full of stuff. Let's just take it.
Yeah, that's surely.
Well, it's great for the shareholders back in England. He shows up with this fucking huge bunch of shit, and it didn't cost anybody anything because he just stole it. Because he was a fucking pirate.
This is actually a great setup to what I know about the beginning.
All right, go ahead.
A lot of it, when they first show up, or when the other powers first show up, the local power, the Mughal Empire, was still pretty strong. The cracks were starting to show, and
we're in India now.
We're firmly in India, but we're getting to where you're starting here. The Dutch and the French were allowed to set up and the Portuguese were allowed to set up. They're called factories, but they're essentially trading outposts.
Yeah, all up around the coast, and most of them were Portuguese going up.
And excuse me. A lot of times they would hire mercenaries to guard these outposts or these factories, not from the locals or from the Mughal emperor and his forces, but from the other European powers, because most of the time was getting fucked with by the other powers.
So the Dutch and
the French were messing with the English way worse than the Mughal Empire was at first. But then once the empire once the cracks in their system finally started to show, and it finally started to essentially fold due to its own corruption, they started to rely on mercenaries. They would just hire those mercenaries to enforce local power instead of raising their own armies. And, well, you know history as well as I do. You know how that ends.
Yeah. See, I didn't read any of that. I didn't read any. The Portuguese controlled most of the, like where you come out around Iran and up into that, like the whole western coast. They had forts all up and down that, and the Spanish and the French had the other half of it. And the English set up, they got to have in Calcutta, and on the other side they got Bombay.
Yeah, Bombay's their big part.
And the Mughals were like, "You guys are cool. It's whatever. It's fine."
Yeah,
and then
as long as you pay, basically as long as you pay rent.
Yeah, but then the British, or not the British, but the Portuguese and the Spanish started to lose their fucking sway, and this started to spread out. And then the English, goddamn, the company got a little too big for its goddamn britches and decided they were going to attack the Mughal Empire. And the Mughal Empire was like, fuck,
pretty much
bad.
Yeah, they were still too strong for that.
No, they were totally like bad kids, smack. Because even after they beat the British, the emperor was like, "Okay, I mean, you guys learned your lesson. You can have your factories back, and you want to build another one over there, go for it."
Mistake one.
Yeah, mistake one. This all could have been avoided if that guy would have just kept the boot on their neck, right?
Yeah, they drove them out completely, but.
That would have just been a different European power.
Yeah, here's the thing. What happened next? The English picked themselves back up pretty quickly, to their credit.
It didn't help that the Mughals had already overextended themselves by that point and were losing control.
They were starting to kind of decentralize power and kind of giving the governors more local power. And hey, basically as long as the tax money keeps coming in,
then it stopped, and then it started to fracture, and then they had the Marathas and the Punjab and all those people start uprising, and the British are just back here going.
But that's later. What happens first? Or I'm not sure if this one might be going along the same time or after or before. We
got 400 years of history to work with, man. Just have fun.
Yeah, it's this. I do know that this did happen after their rebellion, and they picked themselves back up. Then the French started. Oh, this happened before the falling apart part.
Oh, this is during when the 7 Years' War happened.
Yeah, the French were
the first fighting. Like actual like global war where they were fighting everywhere, including India.
Yeah, but they hadn't started fighting in Bombay or anywhere near there just yet. But they both had big factories with big defensive armies. Basically, it was coming any day, and the Mughals kind of stepped in and tried to stop it.
Mm.
Well, they kind of pulled up a card out of it. They got a diplomacy victory and got them to. They got the French to diplomatically pass down and kind of like, all right, we'll take some of our troops out and we'll go back to business as usual.
This is all company stuff too, by the way.
Yeah, this is all company.
The English crown has fuck all to do with everything he's just said.
Yeah, they have not. They have been getting financial reports of money coming in.
Oh, okay. I do know the crown did send a small fleet with a shit ton of Marines to help the company because the French were doing shit. But by the time they got there, I think that they'd already settled it all, and the company was just kind of like, we're just going to keep these.
Because it was basically about to kick off anyway, so why not, right?
Well, they wouldn't have been able to take Bengal later.
So yeah,
otherwise.
So after the French agreed to back down and start sending their troops away, English said they'd do it, but they didn't. So when I say the English, I mean the company.
It's like the company.
I keep meaning to say the company.
The company. It's not the English
not
crown.
The crown, the company. Anyway,
James has fuck all to do with this. Elizabeth's already dead by this point.
Yeah. And and that's where one of my gaps happened. They don't make their move on Bengal just yet, do they?
All I know is that it happens during the collapse of the Mughal Empire. When they take advantage.
Because the Mughals were beginning to collapse.
Well, they were collapsing in, had all the uprisings, and then the company took advantage to seize Bengal. And by here, oh my God, I wrote it down. This is a battle. They did a battle.
They did a battle.
Yeah.
Battle.
Yeah, the Mughals collapse in 1757. Control of Bengal passes over to the British after the Battle of Plassey under Sir Robert Clive, I do believe, and the Battle of Buxar a few years later, which hands them the
Bengal and Bahir.
Yeah. Oh, that was a big one. They beat the Bengalese, the Adwa, and the Mughal forces. Apparently, they tried to make a big coalition to drive the British out, and it did not work because...
Too little, too late?
No, because some dipshit forgot that it rains in India and on the Indian forces, right? Forgot it rains in India and you should probably put the tarp over your gunpowder.
Oh my God.
And to make it even dumber, they're like, oh, well, we're this stupid, so of course the British are that stupid too, right? They probably did the same thing. Let's march on them anyway. And they send the cavalry at them and full cannonade, grape shot straight to these poor bastards because, the British put their gunpowder under tarps.
Because you have to learn that lesson the hard
fucking way, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that's
for those of you who don't know,
it's
basically a.
But after that, they have control of Bengal and all that stuff, and now they're in control of basically a fucking country that's bigger than England now.
Just because it looks so cool. Editing Beau, put a picture of what grape shot is up here.
Okay, I'll do something. You're telling me what to do. You're not the director.
Adding work.
Quit making me work hard. The fucking Cassini episode every 5 minutes. Do this. You watch just fuck tons of shit I had to do. Asshole, I had to find video clips and all this other stuff. It
was a great episode, though.
Still, man, I like to sleep sometimes.
Oh, I can't wait until the next episode.
Make you edit one of these motherfucking things. See how long I'm not going to get home tonight after we record this one until like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know that, right?
Oh, you're going to go straight home and start.
Yeah, because I got to go to work tomorrow. And then Friday, I want to have a day off. So if I don't do it today, I'll have to do it Friday and I won't get my day off. I'm leaving all this in, by the way. I want these people to know how hard I fucking work.
How much he suffers for his
How much I suffer from this bullshit. But anyway, after they have control of Bengal and everything, now the real conquest begins. They just start having wars with people because why the fuck not? We got the money and the manpower. Let's fucking do it.
We got to consolidate. That's not war.
Yes.
No.
You do. You have to consolidate.
We have to consolidate
all your stuff. Yep. Because it's all about getting that fucking tax revenue and profit back to the shareholders in England.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have I have no idea how to pronounce this. I'm so sure.
Let me see.
I am so sure I'm going to say it wrong.
That is Maratha.
No, this one. I know how to say that. I know how to say
Mysore.
That can't be how you say that.
That is how we're allowed to say it. That
cannot be how that is pronounced. It cannot be just Mysore because it's spelled that way. I refuse. Internet, somebody help me. It has to have there's a silent letter, something happening here. With the Mysore Wars, there's 3 of these. And
now quick.
No, there's 4. I'm sorry.
Oh no, wait. Mysore is the in Empire Total War, that's the small country.
Yeah, but that game doesn't do them a lot of very much justice. They were actually a much bigger power than that video game would let you.
Okay, but
believe. That's who I'm talking about.
I was trying to
same people. They're like nice burgundy color on the map.
Yeah, I got you.
But the British or the company fights 4 wars with them from 1767 to 69 to 1780 to 84, 1790 to 92, and one last one in 1799 just to round off the century with another good battle. And I wrote down the Lord General guy for that one because I love his name. It's the most British name ever.
Mornington?
It is Governor General Lord Mornington. Defeated the Mysoreans at the battle of which I could not find the name of because the internet is a bastard. But I am Lord Mornington of the morning. Right?
I want to add it.
No, fuck, all that is great.
Yeah.
I just love that Governor General Lord Mornington. Add some more fucking titles to this guy. Right. He pops the popcorn on Friday night at the movie theater too. If you really look.
Oh.
And then the Maharatha Wars.
Maratha.
No, that is Maharatha. The H is silent.
I don't think that's right. Anyway, they get some. Oh, cool. Oh, they get an island because Britain loves taking islands.
Mm-hmm. It's a shitty little island, but they got another island from the Dutch. We should probably mention that way earlier.
Oh yeah,
when they were fighting the Dutch back in the early 1600s, when this first got started, they lost during a treaty. The Dutch were like, "Oh, cool, okay, we're gonna take this island where all the cinnamon and stuff comes from. You guys can have this shitty mud island off on the Americas. I think it's called Manhattan. Like nothing will ever happen with that. Just sell it for scrap. It'll be fine.
We already hunted the beaver off of it. It's not worth it
anymore. Probably what they were thinking. It was like, we already hunted all the beaver. It's not worth anything now. Isn't that funny how that shit works?
Right.
Do you remember the name of the island they got from the Marathons?
The island the big one south of India is called Goa. But I thought
I think that's right. I think it's Goa.
I thought the Portuguese took that. Like by force took that.
I mean, that could have been. I mean, this is in 1790 or wait, hang on, 1780 something. That could have been 100 years ago.
Well, I'm saying
the company's been in India since 1600.
Well, no,
so like it literally could have been 100 years ago.
I don't remember hearing about when they took that from them or not. I don't remember.
It's been. I mean, that's what I'm saying is there's a shit ton of history for you to have lost that particular date in, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like I don't remember it happened, but that fits their MO.
But the complete takeover of India doesn't happen until the early 1800s, about 1817. There's a couple more wars, one of which Lord Wellesley, Arthur, Duke of Wellington. Big nose himself.
Beef Wellington
himself. Yeah, Beef Wellington himself. This is one of his early commands. He defeats the butcher Bosnil Bonsle Bhonsle family. However the fuck you say that.
We'll spell it out.
He defeats them and the Marathan forces on a Lord Hastings in 1818, nice round number, finally defeats the final remnants of the Marathan Empire, and now the company controls all of India. So yay, celebrate. Now what do we do, Chuck?
Proceed to screw it up.
Just bleed it fucking dry, man. Oh, you think
tap a bung to
you think the wars were bad and the kind of shady ass business deals we were doing up to this point?
So much worse.
Fuck, man.
Because it was one of those. Up until now, we had to kind of play by a certain type of rules because we had. We couldn't. It's one of those. I say we would have been.
It wasn't me. I wasn't there. My family had already lost the Battle of Culloden, and we were gone by this point. All right.
Oh yeah.
Bleed it dry. That's where we were.
Anyway, but up until this point, the company had to play by at least a kind of fair-ish system, because if they were too unfair, the locals will just stop doing business and start.
Yeah, because there were still like sovereign nations they were dealing with.
Portugal, and they still had competition. Now they had a monopoly,
and nobody telling them they couldn't,
and no trust buster. And Teddy Roosevelt was nowhere to be found.
And just to throw some numbers at you, they had more manpower than any military in Europe. They had an army of almost 4 million in the 18th century.
Which, by the way,
with
the US Army,
3,000 ships, not counting all the trade merchant ships and shit. But you can throw cannons on those. That's a lot of fucking ships that a company has control of. They are the strongest military in the world, and the British Crown has little to no say over any of it. And why would they? Because half of them have most of the Crown had bought shares in on the company anyway. They're making money too.
Yeah, it's one of those good business is good. Why mess up a good thing?
Yeah, why would you let it go? But then the famine starts.
Which one?
The last big one where even Bengal couldn't fucking the most fertile area in the world.
Is that the one where that's not?
This is the one that leads up to the Sepoy Rebellion and all that shit.
I was about to say,
this is where it gets real bad, and somehow the company still manages to turn a profit that year because they literally just shook the fucking coins out of the peasants.
Well, this is one of those. It's easy to have. You're like, why does India have famine so often during British Raj rule?
Yeah, because they don't give a shit about actually
because the food.
Oh, cool! You grew all that stuff. Thanks. I'm gonna go send it over to Russia or whatever. They paid for it.
Well, it wasn't just that. The food growing crops that would have been that you could have shipped because shipping wasn't fast like it is today. Food would.
Yeah, but I mean, beans and corn and.
But yeah, stuff like that wasn't as profitable as tea and sugar
rice.
And tobacco.
Yeah.
And opium.
Indigo. Oh, opium. Opium's great because they could take the land where the good stuff wouldn't grow very well, like the rocky, craggy shit. Opium grows just fine there. It's double your fucking profit. You got your wheat, rice field over here or whatever, and then up on the hillside, you're growing the opium. You send that off to China because that was the East India Company's fault too. All the opium wars and the humiliation of China, the century of fucking humiliation for them. Yeah, it was the East India Company again. 2 continents, same people. Way to get shit done.
Right.
They're efficient. I'll give them that. They're very good at ruining old, established empires that have been the most wealthy in the world up to this point. We like to the Roman Empire and the British. They had so much money. Fuck no, they didn't have. They had pennies compared to the Chinese and the Indian fucking empires. They were dirt poor compared to those guys.
At least at first, and then once the company started taking all the wealth, and that wealth started being paid.
But that's still 2,000 years later. So from the dawn of civilization, the eastern half of the world was making most of the money.
And most of the nice things. Nowadays we associate made in China with cheap
Chinese plastic. I make the joke all the time.
Yeah, but for the longest time, made in China meant the nicest, fanciest thing,
right?
Cotton,
Indian
Egyptian cotton, or
Indian
German
cotton,
silver,
and what's that?
Swiss chocolate.
What's that shit? Muslin, the super sheer thin material that's made in India. It's. Anyway, it's what poor people wore. But then they'd fucking send it over to the Romans, and they're like, oh, and they're paying 10 times whatever the fucking peasant that's I hate this shit is having. I want some real cotton,
I want something thicker.
Well, everybody's seeing my dick all the time when I'm walking around. I got to layer this thing up 8 times. It gets hot.
Let me cut this part out.
I will cut nothing. Quit telling me how to edit my job. Yeah, that was English.
Anyway,
you're telling me how to edit my job.
Okay, so we hit the Opium Wars. How does it? Because I didn't get that far into it. How did they go to how did it convert to the Raj?
That's after the Sepoy Rebellion, and that's because it wasn't even because I
need to go back and do the Sepoy Rebellion.
Okay, the Sepoys were the indigenous military forces that the company used because it's way easier to recruit an army from the locals than it is to ship a bunch of white Irish boys over.
Also, malaria.
They do, but
malaria kills a bunch of them. Yeah.
So, but they. I don't know if this is true. I've read it a couple places, but there seems to be some debate on whether or not this actually happened. They were trying to get better guns for them, which seems great, right? But the problem is the rifles and rifling
the patching and the shot
is greased, and they told all of these Hindu and Muslim fucking soldiers that the bullets are greased with pig and beef fat, which is bad for both of them.
Which is forbidden by both of them. So they both
so they're like
religiously.
Yeah, so like a group of them were like, we're not doing this, and they got arrested, and that pissed off the others who rampaged in, broke their boys out, and then they proceeded to just kill all the Christians and English people and that's bad. Fair. That's bad. But then the company retaliated, and the war goes on for a while. But I'll just speed track it to the end, where the massacre of Delhi, which happens twice. The Sepoys do it first, and then like 5 years later, after they've been pushed back into Delhi and it's like their last stronghold, then the company does it, but like way worse. Like they kill everybody.
Damn.
Like as long as you weren't like a woman or a little girl, you were fucking done. You can go read letters from people who served and stuff, and they're just like, it's the most horrific. Like orders came down, and I hope I never see a day like I saw today. And this walking through the streets to leave afterward, there's some cavalry guy just being like, my horse fell over because it was slipping on the bloated, rotten bodies of all the people we had just bayoneted. This is what killed the company. Like this was so bad that papers around the world started telling people about it, and Queen Victoria was like, okay, we can't have business fucking men going around bayoneting little boys and old men just because they happen to be in a city. You guys are going to hand over 50% control of your company because you're kind of going broke anyway. They made a deal. So now the crown has finally some control over India, and this is what starts the Raj, because slowly the company starts losing more and more influence. The crown completely takes over. It doesn't take that long. It's only like 4 or 5 years, and then Victoria is crowned as the Empress of India, and the East India Company, which still exists, by the way, they trade coins now. I didn't either. I saw it when I was doing my research. I was like,
still exists?
Yeah, there's a East India Company, and you can. It seemed on the website I found they sell collectible coins and shit. I was like, wow, wait. I mean, you guys minted your own money anyway, so why not?
Rules for being a mint aren't really super hard.
I mean, they're not.
As long as your purity standards are up to snuff.
I mean, they're just like they look like just random ass fucking coins. But you can go check them out online if you want. They're still around, apparently.
I might actually have to do that. That just sounds too interesting not to.
But that's the 250-something year just butt fucking of India by a bunch of greedy ass old English white guys.
And then it continued for a good while by the English government.
That was sanctioned, though. It's totally fine.
That was sanctioned government.
That was sanctioned government abuse. This is a company that's gone wild. It's like Amazon given a private military and control over, Mexico or something.
Don't give Jeff Bezos any ideas, dude.
We have laws against that kind of thing now because
Mexico doesn't.
No, but we do, and so does England, and because
they wouldn't be able to sell
of the East India Company. That's why no one's allowed to do that anymore, and that's why companies nowadays go through great lengths to hide the fact that they control. That's why you have like this company owns that company that owns this company, but they're all really owned by this company.
They're all really
so they can be like, we're not a monopoly. See,
bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. Disney, I'm looking at you.
Oh God.
Fucking leave my wrestling alone. God damn you.
We did not put the British Raj in there, did we? Because part of me kind of wants to continue this.
We can add. I thought you were like trying to personally blame me for it. I was like, my family had lost control of England by that point.
No. Oversight for us, because the British Raj is kind of like, this is one of those times we've already.
That's where all this stuff from the movies comes from, where you get like the people parading through on elephants and the
women in parasols.
Jungle Book.
Yeah,
Jungle Books from that time period.
Oh, excuse me.
We can throw it in there.
Good.
You got anything else? Because I'm pretty tapped.
I mean, other than just kind of some shady stuff that they were doing, but you kind of ended it. You ended it with the best of the worst. I did not know. You didn't know it ended that bad.
You didn't know that's why, like, the company kind of did something so fucking awful that the whole world was like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, well, I kind of figured
let's hold on a fucking second.
Something happened. I just didn't know exactly what, because it's always something.
No, and you want to know what's worse about it? I spent 45 fucking, because I'd heard about it. Because the Indians call it the Black Wind or something. I can't.
Yeah.
Okay. Took me 45 minutes to an hour to find any reference to it online from anywhere. Everywhere wants to talk about the beginning of the Sepoy Rebellion and how they killed a bunch of English people and shit. And it's like, yeah, true, valid. I get it. That happened. But you're kind of ignoring that we gave it back to them way worse.
It's kind of a...
it was kind of a like, nobody's good here. Why are you trying to leave half of it out?
This is kind of this is one of the battles of the Crusades. Nobody
is good here, but both sides need to be discussed because both of you fucked up, right? Thank you. That was my problem, is like, it was so hard to find any reference to that. And if I hadn't heard the guy on that podcast I told you about, the Empire, because he's some expert in Indian history and shit.
You are going to put the Empire battle clips up.
No, the podcast is called Empires, though, and I guess for some reason they decided to start with the East India Company as the first episode, but he mentioned it, and I was like,
they have a cup that they draw,
and I was like, oh, cool, I'll have to fucking go look into that. And for fuck me, nobody else wants to fucking talk about it except that fucking guy. It took me for fucking ever to find somebody else that was like, yeah, that happened.
That's one
because nobody on this side of the world wants to talk about that. That Robert Clive guy that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, you want to talk about opposing opinions? In England, he's a fucking hero, and in fucking India, they're like, fuck that guy. I wouldn't piss on him if his teeth were on fire.
He's on. That's one of those. If everyone hates you, you're probably honest.
I mean, if you want to find most of like the most important, important cultural artifacts from India, they're in that asshole's house in Wales.
Oh, that's also why.
So.
That's also why you have
plunder's plunder, brother. I don't care what you can church that up all you want. That's plunder.
No, ain't just archaeological.
No, my friend, just loot. You and the boys wouldn't do a bit of looting.
Now okay. So hypotheticals. We're talking about hypotheticals.
Yeah, this is fun. Keep going.
America's about to go tits up for the next 20, 30 years, but you get a chance to raid some museum somewhere in the country and take one item and preserve it, knowing that if you keep it in your, like, wherever place, it'll be safe until America picks itself up by its bootstraps again.
No, you're not going to like it.
What's the one item you take?
You're not going to like it.
Your Declaration of Independence is already gotten by Nick Cage, so those are...
okay, because that was my answer. I was like, I'm going to have to take the Declaration of Independence,
it's already at Nick Cage's house.
Just in case people forget that that's a fucking option, after the whatever totalitarian government. All right, cool, can't use that one.
Nick Cage is going to present it, and
I'm fine with that. He'll take care of it. In Cage we trust.
In Cage we trust.
I've
already got mine picked out because there's even music for it, man. There's even music for it. All right, while you're thinking, I'm going to tell him mine. The Sword of George Washington.
Oh, that's a good
And like the
It's good.
couteau with the green and white.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one that he probably never actually carried anywhere. It just they found it in his house and was like, "Oh, pretty."
Well, no, he had it made during that time.
I want the shitty, battered, chipped.
The one they actually used?
Wait, I want the one that he fucking swung at some motherfuckers. That's the sword you want.
It was supposedly reforged. Parts of it were reforged into the new one, and that is the story we are telling the children.
Sure.
We will not tell them anything else to undermine American history.
They're not German. It's not Weihnachtsliga.
Oh, size doesn't matter. So if you want to steal like a space shuttle, you totally could. I failed to specify that because that is an option. You could totally hide a space shuttle in your backyard. No guarantees it'll work sitting there for 30 years. Because the worst thing on a car is for the damn thing to just sit there.
The rifle that killed Kennedy. I want that Carcano.
That is kind of. It's one of those like that's a bit
because for two reasons.
Spicier history.
Two reasons: cool. A, the historical aspect. B, I guarantee you it still shoots.
Oh yeah. Probably.
So I can use my
so you
I can kill more people with the weapon that killed Kennedy, and I can be like, yes, you get to join that lineage of awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we've completely veered off.
I get so much heat for that last comment.
Oh yeah.
Do I draw? Yeah, you draw this time.
I draw this week. Okay. The pot of knowing.
Shaky.
What I pick will be our next week's topic, and next week's topic is
show me something good.
Down. World War II American weapon.
Yeah,
a fun one.
Fuck yeah, guns and bombs.
Woo.
Does that include like?
It says World War II American weapon.
That's a vague term, man. Does that mean like lots of shit could be a weapon?
It doesn't say small arms, but I was kind of thinking that.
The E-tool, my absolute favorite weapon.
That's the one we could actually show off. The not-so-secret shovel.
Yeah. Shovels up, brother. Let's go. Yay. Next week's going to be fucking fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
World War II American weapons. Next week on Totally Not Modern Marvels.
We are Kentucky Fried Chronology. Get it right. Tell the good people you had a good time.
I did have a mostly good.
Look at him. He just, it takes him a while.
Yeah. The onion has to have a few layers peeled off before you find a fun one.
No, you need to drink more. That's your biggest problem, my friend. You don't drink enough.
Too much booze is bad for my game.
You do this once a fucking week.
Yeah,
quit being a gym bro. And get drunk with your purple hat wearing friend. Purple hat, Dad. To get warm? Mine's a little warm. Definitely needs to be over ice.
Oh, good God, that shit needs to be cold. Alrighty.
All right.
So
I'm Beau.
And I'm Chuck.
Go out and learn something.
Yeah.
Intro song. Everybody dance along to the Kentucky Fried intro song.
My God.